Hi, Genevieve Jacobs from Region Media with today's news update. And once again, it doesn't come from out in the community where we usually find ourselves telling good news stories, but from the Region Media board office. We find ourselves here again as a consequence of COVID. It's just about 2 weeks since the ACT lockdown, and it's been an enormous effort. So my guest today for the news update is Health Minister Rachel Stephen-Smith. We're speaking just after the daily press briefing on Thursday. Minister, today was a pretty good news day. The indication is that the lockdown seems to be working.
Yep, today is a pretty good news day, but we know that these numbers are going to move around for quite some time to come, or that's what we expect. So today we had all but one of our cases had been in quarantine during their entire infectious period, which is really, really good news. Where we want to get to is every single one of our cases being in quarantine during their infectious period, and then we'll see those case numbers coming down. That's what we're trying to achieve with lockdown. And so far, lockdown, contact tracing, testing, isolation and quarantine seems to be doing its work, but we've got a bit of a way to go.
And that's required a lot of community spirit from a lot of people. And one of the things that we really want to use today's conversation to do is to say thank you to a huge number of people in Canberra. We've been hearing every day, you've called out the people that you want to thank. The Chief Health Officer has called out people to thank. This has taken a big team of people and a lot of people stepping up, hasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And look, the biggest team of people that it's taken are all of those tens of thousands of Canberrans that have been in quarantine for 2 weeks. So we've got lots and lots of people coming out of quarantine over the next 24 hours because their last exposure day was the 12th of August. So today is day 14 for many of those people. So the first group of people I want to thank are those tens of thousands of people who've done the right thing and stayed in quarantine for that full 2 weeks. It's not an easy thing to do. And so they're the first group of people I want to thank.
Let's just have a quick run through this. I mean, we can't possibly thank everyone because we've got volunteers from all sectors of the community. We've got people coming out of retirement. We've got people volunteering for organisations they're associated with, others just putting up their hands. But maybe a bit of a scan across some of those who have helped make this work for our community.
Yeah, so of course I want to start with our health workforce. We do always start there, but there's a lot of people in the backroom supporting the ICT that keeps those people going, that keeps the contact tracers able to do their job. And in terms of volunteers, we've seen the SES and community fire units coming out, supporting people in the testing lines, making sure they're having everything they need, but also supporting our contact tracing team. We've seen people from volunteering ACT and again the SES packing hampers and delivering those to people who are short of food in this very, very difficult time. We've seen our community groups stepping up. We've seen self-organised people across the community helping one another out. And of course, we've seen our community organisations really ramping up their efforts from food pantries through to providing essential services. I want to thank our ACT government agencies as well, whether that's policing and Access Canberra, providing compliance and providing information and support to the community, including the business community. Our other ACT government agencies that are keeping essential services going, again, whether that's the buses, whether that's garbage collection, whether that's corrections, right across the community. And again, all of those people volunteering, St John's Ambulance, who've provided a bunch of volunteers for us over time. So all of those people, thank you so much for stepping up, helping out your community. It is absolutely invaluable. Whether you're being paid or whether you're volunteering, you're all part of this frontline effort in responding to the global pandemic.
And I think one of the most reassuring things that we've seen is that the stories about people who are stepping up and giving their time, people who've just come up from the community and done what they can, have had huge amounts of contact and traction on our side. And Minister, thank you to you too and to everyone in ACT Health who's also been communicating with us, I think notably clearly. We've been pretty lucky here in the ACT to have had very clear and consistent messages. We're not over this yet. The signs are okay, but I guess the message from now on is we've got to stick to this and do this together, hey?
We're doing really, really well. We don't want to end up in the situation that's occurring a few hundred kilometres down the road. We think we can get through this. We're going to get through this together. Canberrans, united, will never be defeated. Genevieve?
I love that. Go Canberrans. Minister, on that, a couple of other things that are making news on the site. We've got all sorts of much more mundane, everyday things happening. So it's spring. There are swooping magpies. There's a little bit of a thought coming out that maybe face masks might make those swooping magpies a little bit more prone to do the swooping. They won't recognise you quite so clearly. We've been talking about potholes all week and damage to cars. There have been some monster potholes, including one just outside the front of the office here. And we've also said, well, look, Ken Berens is a very important figure in this pandemic, but what about Where's Wally? Where's Wally figures have been popping up right across the community as people look for fun things to do to enliven the neighbourhood and when the kids are out on that 1 hour of exercise. For all that and more, join in our great big Canberra conversation. And Minister, thank you so much for your time. And thank you, Canberra. Let's keep doing it. Thanks so much, Minister.
Thanks, Genevieve. It's been a pleasure.
I'm Genevieve Jacobs. This is Region Media.